Welcome back to one of my Bleach chapter reviews. Now, I'm sorry for last week that I wasn't able to produce a chapter because I was busy with a lot of work and stuff like that. So, hopefully I should get back to, do my videos as usual because I had a whole lot of comments about that last chapter, which was funny. I had a lot of funny scenes in that one, but, hopefully, once Kubo makes another chapter like that, I'll definitely make some comments about that. But okay, let's get into this chapter. It's entitled Everything But the Rain, OP 10. Now, it starts off where Misaki, it's going back to the flashback, basically, that scene from the Soul Society arc, where it explains, his mother dying on top of him, and he's looking at distraught, blood everywhere and rain pouring, and his father tells Ichigo that his mother was supposed to die that day, and then he went into details talking about, you know what all Quincy's have in their defense called blood vein. And Ichigo says, yeah, it's what Urahara told me about this. All Quincy's have this. And then, Ishin talking about, he said only pure-blooded Quincy's can be able to be born with this technique. But those who are mixed-blooded, they have to go through training. And he also said that even though his mother was considered a pure-blood Quincy, she was also mixed because of that hollow, the whole recent incident when she was bit. And, since whatever was in that hollow's, saliva or whatnot, had traveled into her, affected her, turned her from pure blood to mixed blood Quincy. And with this, it was strange too, because he said, ever since that day when she got bit, it basically made her stronger than like an average pure blood Quincy. And when she activated her blood vein, pretty much it was, like I said, it was stronger than the average Quincy. So basically, she just became even stronger because of that, her mixed blood. And what else happened? Like he said that ever since that moment where she met up with Grant Fisher, he suppressed his Ryatsu, and he said the difference was between him and Misaki is that it wasn't like it was quite evident that she could have easily killed Grant Fisher just like that, but he said there was like a slight mishap as to like what really happened. And then he went on to another story talking about do you know about he asked Ichigo saying, do you know anything about Uryu's mother? And Ichigo replied by saying, no, Uryu is not the type of person to open up and talk about his family like that. And then Ishin went into detail saying that we already know that he said that Katagiri, as we all know it, was Uryu's mother. And how the fact that she had died on that same, if I'm correct, she had died on that same day that Ichigo's mother had died, on June 17th, on that same day when she had lost consciousness and she had died. And then Ichigo looking like said, wait, what? And then that's when he went into detail, Ichi went into detail saying that the whole reason, as to why this happened, because this whole reason had to do with Juha Bach. And his whole idea of what he was trying to do is absorb all the energy from the mixed blooded Quincy because he considered them impure. And so at this time while he was doing this, I mean, I don't know, I'm not sure if he was either in the world of the living or he was in another dimension doing this, but he just created this group of Quincy's that he knew would probably be like the best for his militia. And once he discovered these mixed blood Quincy's, he said, nah, this can't do it. So he started sucking away all their energy, like, nah, they don't deserve this. He started feeding it back to himself. And then it was at that time where Katagiri's mother, my bad, sorry, Uryu's mother, Katagiri, since she was bedridden, and as you can see in like one of the chapters, it show like his father Ryukin just like looking out the window as Ishin just telling all about the story. And while she was bedridden, she was like sick, and then she had died 3 months later because since she was already ill, and plus Juha Ba was already siphoning the Ryatsu, Reishi from like the mixed blood Quincy, that she had died, at a fast pace because she was already in a weak state. And plus with Misaki, as we can see that when she was about to take on Grant Fisher and was about to finish him off at one point, that's when, like I said, Juha Bach sucked away her energy, which made her practically powerless, and that's what gave him the opportunity to kill her. So we know that Grant Fisher was the one responsible for, we all knew it was axiomatic that he killed Misaki, but one thing we didn't know was that how her power got taken away, and now I know that Juha Bach was the one responsible for doing it. And you know, Grand Fish just cut him down. I mean, Grand Fish was just like an ordinary hollow into Masaki. That was just like practice, basically. So if Juha Bach didn't interfere with taking her power, she could have easily killed him, and she still would have been alive to this very day. You know, for Ichigo and the rest of his family. But anyways, Ishin started going into even further detail about this guy. You know, talking about Quincy. There's something about Quincy in Quincy folklore about there being like a sealed king of some sort, and he says something like that within the 900 years, you know, he regained his heart, and after 90 he regained his intellect, and after 9 years he had regained his power. And Ichigo was looking a bit like he was like a bit confused. Talking about, wait, what? Like, who are you talking about? Like, who's this Juha Bach guy? And then, cause Ichigo, he knew the guy that he fought. He just didn't know what his name was until his father went into explanation. He said, this is who he is. You know, things like that. Then it clicked in his mind to that instance chapters back when he first fought Juha Bach. And then he went into detail talking about like, how you never knew your mother fully, or you don't really know anything about your true self or what your true nature is, your power and things like that. And then Ichigo just sitting there like, now it's trying to come back to him. Like, okay. And that one scene where it said, my son born in the darkness. Now we know what it means, not like Juha Bach, it's the father of Ichigo. You put in like a certain term to where it almost seems like it's his own son because he has that Quincy blood in him. Oh yeah, and plus, since Juha Bach, created Quincy, they all carry that blood within them. So, basically they all, basically, Juha Bach's like God, and he's, he has his children, basically. That's all he is, the Quincy's. And, once Ishin was done telling the story, Ichigo, finally everything clicked in his mind. He said, okay. He said, Dad, thank you, whatnot. Ishin He said, yeah. And then, the story finally ends about him going into explanation about how everything came together, about his mother actually dying, and, his origin, Ishin's story, all of that. They finally leave the clinic, and then, out of nowhere, Ichigo turns his head and he sees Akumi, just laid up against the light post or something that's waiting for him to come outside. And then he was wondering why she's there, and then she said, he had left behind your Soul Reaper badge. He said, yeah, thank you, whatnot. Then he just turned to him and said, Akumi saying, Dad, I'm going. And it's just, just switch from there and then went to the next slide, the next page where we finally, go back to the Quincy's HQ, where we only see Juha Bach just sitting there on his chair. And then he speaks to Hoshiro, said, Hoshiro, you finally back? Like, he just posted like this. That's like, pretty much, to me, that's like the perfect part where he was just laid back, since Juha Bach, sorry to say it, but I think he's probably my #1 favorite villain. I mean, I'm sorry, Eisen, I know you probably my he's for me, I said he's my first, but I might change around this time. Juha Bach just sitting up laying up and say, okay, you bring back the subject and whatnot, and then Hoshiro, you point towards him, whatnot, and then Juha Bach just look up and say, welcome, Uryu Ishida. Like, it was quite obvious to me because, Quincy, whatnot, we know it's going to happen anyway. Because we didn't see him in so long, we wanted, we knew Quincy, Uryu was going to come in one way or another, Juha Bach. But I did like how the way, how Uryu looked like in his get-up, his little Quincy outfit, instead of his original ones he had back in the previous arcs. This time he looked all clean, suited up, little outfit, he looked like a Nazi soldier, how back then he got the outfit, all nice and clean, whatnot. And then Juha Bach told me, you ready? He said, now you ready to fight with us? Come on, something like my son, Then it said something, if I can remember, it said in German, it said Prince von Licht or something like that, the Prince of Light. So, that's pretty much the end of this chapter. Now let's get into this discussion. Overall, it's a pretty good chapter. You can agree with me, it's a pretty good chapter. We all knew that these events were going to occur anyway, about Ishin going into detail about his mother, make some few clarifications so that Ichigo could fully understand as to what his father's been keeping secret for after all these years, blah blah. Now that's done with, and now we can focus, on the Quincy's. Finally, we finally getting back to Quincy. a little bit, about Uri and stuff like that. Now, this pretty much it baffled me a little bit when Juhabak was sitting on his throne talking to Udi, he was talking about, you finally gonna fight with us, that my son. Now, I know you probably know, but to me, at first, I probably thought you said, wait a minute. No, you said, like, I know something may sound stupid or not, but, you said, like, my son. So I'm thinking, like, it maybe it's like his full-blooded son, like that, but, it can't be because of, Ryuk, of course, his father, that has the same facial features and, things like that. I mean, it was pretty much like the same thing what Juhabak said to Ichigo, my son, born in darkness, stuff like that. But he probably said that because of, since Uryu, a full-blooded Quincy, he may know some more things that we don't probably know just yet about, Uryu, stuff like that. So hopefully, Kubo makes some clarifications about that, in the next chapter so we can fully understand this whole situation that's occurring. But, finally, I hope for next chapter we should be able to see, Ichigo, finally, they probably gonna take a break a little bit on Ichigo's side, maybe not, because, still, you gotta find out more information about him, so, but, I think in next week's chapter, my predictions is that they might show, of course, they're gonna start it off where, Uryu finally meets Juhabak for the first time, they explain to one another about, his powers and, things like that, like his, maybe some things that he may not know that he might clear it up for Uryu and, stuff like that. They argue right back and forth. We're not sure if Uryu is actually going to join their side. I mean, man, like I say, it may happen, but I'm not sure like that, since Uryu is a good guy, but, then some other unfortunate events might occur in the future that might happen, so we don't know. To me, I'm thinking he might turn over to the bad side for now, but I don't know. I mean, it's based on our speculation, so, whatever. But, yeah, I really hope that they go back to the Soul Society, because I really want to see where, I had multiple ideas, the incident where we left off when Kapachi was training with, Yachiru Unohana. And I think once they get back to the Soul Society, it might show where, since, Achuru's dead, they might show that he's burying her. He probably got this little plot or something, home to Zanpakuto at one point. And, he probably saying his, like, last words to her, you've been a respectful person towards me, helped me regain, a lot of my power and stuff like that, let me learn my Shikai, and, been like a huge mentor to me, great, getting stronger, stuff like that, whatever. Then, it gets back to training with a Shikai, and then let's move on forward. Leading up to the events where, the major battle rages on, but that's going to be a while from now. But, yeah, that's pretty much it, basically. Good chapter, good events. I like the nice art drawing, that's Kubo's style, of course, he's good for that. So, yeah, it was pretty good. So, yeah, it was pretty good. Okay, leave some comments at the bottom. Tell me what you think about the chapter, what events might occur for the next one. And, I'll see you next week until, the next chapter comes out. Until then, see you later.